y'all doing tonight? Yeah, Rochester. We in the building. In the building. It's good, because it's cold as hell outside. But you know what, from Rochester, we used to it. If you've been here for a while, you're used to it. It's not really a big deal. It happens every year. The people I kind of feel bad for, though, is thugs. You know, because when it's cold outside, you can't do all of your normal, like, thug shit. You can't do all of your thug shit. Like yesterday, I'm driving downtown, and I see two dudes on the corner, and they talking. I don't know what they're saying because my window's up. It's cold outside. But they got thug motion. Like, you know, they doing thug shit. I don't know what the fuck thugs say, but they doing it. So, at one point, they're like, what the fuck? What's going on with that? You know, it's cold outside, gotta protect your lips. Imagine getting stuck up by somebody like, hey, nigga, run the pockets, nigga. Hold on. I'll be a shot motherfucker. You gotta shoot me. I don't respect your thug no more, man. Can't do that in the middle of that. Come on. Oh, man. So, I'm a dad now. You know. Thank you. About 11 years ago, my wife had our first son, and about 9 years ago was the second one. That was a little more muted. But no, it's cool being a dad, you know what I'm saying, because we get to experience new things. I get to see things that I probably would never check out. And one of the cool things about being a dad sometimes, or just a parent in general, is sometimes your kids like shit that you used to be into when you were young. Like, I used to always watch nature shows. I used to love watching nature shows. My kids started watching nature shows. They started getting into it. It's something that we could do together. You know, so they was watching the show, a new show called Wildcrats. It's out of Canada, you know, and I was learning so much new cool stuff because they're doing all these new creatures and things that you've never heard of. And then they go back and they do, you know, stuff that everybody's heard of, but it doesn't get a lot of press, like the Peregrine Falcon. It can fly 200 miles an hour. I didn't know that shit. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm learning something new. You know, but I always wanted them to expand. You know, I wanted them to do something a little bit different, something that everybody's familiar with, but that you don't normally see on TV. Like, I would have loved Steve Irwin, you know, the crocodile hunter. I would have loved for him to come back and do like an episode like he come on. Good day, folks. Today, we're going to track the North American wild thought. Now, it's a beautiful, majestic creature. It's a beautiful, majestic creature, but keep in mind, the thought is a wild animal. Now, I've got Mac in the back here. A lot of people always ask me, they're like, Steve, where can we find thoughts? Where do they normally hang out at? Anytime you see a Nissan Altima or a Chevy Malibu, you know, any kind of Hyundai, you can probably find a thought in there. You know, a nice climate. But I love that shit. Like, he would just keep going. Like, he would tell you fun facts about the thought. I'd be like, so, one of the emails I get all the time, Steve, tell me a little bit about the thought rituals. Tell me a little bit about some of the things that they do. And the email I get all the time is about the twerking. Steve, how do they twerk? How do they twerk? Well, folks, right at the bottom of their back, they've got two little fatty sacks, just like a rattlesnake. When they vibrate those together, they make an audible sound and lets the male of the species know that they are in heat, they are ready to mate. You know, and he would just tell you other fun facts. Folks, if you ever find a thought in your house, the first thing you want to do, remember it's a wild animal. You want to call animal control. But what you need to do, just to calm it down, you grab a little glass of Henderson, put it out for the thought right there. It'll send it to the toxic shark, just like when you turn a shark right upside down. Mac, I'm going to try to get a close look at the thoughts. If we take a look, we can see some right over the horizon there. Mac, can you zoom in on that? Oh, look at the beautiful plumage. Oh, the different color hair. It's bright. It's vibrant. That way they can attract the male of the species. We're going to try to catch one of these thoughts. Now remember, folks, you want to be very, very careful when you're tracking down one of these thoughts. I don't recommend anybody do this at home. Always remember, they're very wild animals. Be very quiet. Be very quiet. We're gonna just grab one of these thoughts. What I want to do is make sure that we can tag it. It won't hurt the thought. We're just gonna tag it to make sure that we can still track it down. Shh, here we go. Here we go. Shh. There we go. There we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, easy, girl. Easy, easy, easy. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now, folks, as you can see from up close, they're really majestic creatures. If you ever catch a thought in your home, what you can do, I know I said the Henderson thing earlier, just wave a couple dollars right in front of their face. It'll calm them right down. As you can see, this particular thought, if we take a look at some of the markings, you can see the gold teeth in the front. It's from the northern Florida peninsula. Just take a look here. Now what I want to do, I just want to tag this thought so we can let it go right back out into the wild. Let's go ahead and lift it up. All right, let's see. Shh, get in close. Oh, it looks like this one's already tagged. Baby Mama Rashawn. Hey. Listen, folks, that's my time. I appreciate you. Thank you.